Okay, so this is a new one. I don't think I've done a video on yet. Ottomans versus Mongols. Mongols being a civilization that does tend to take over the map, and that's the kind of approach that I like to do, so it'll be interesting to see to what extent they do that. Mongols also have quite good kind of cavalry and horse archers, making them ideal, kind of an ideal early raiding civilization. But then again, Ottomans obviously have the Janissaries, and against a small number of cavalry that aren't heavy cavalry. I realise when I say Ottoman, Janissaries are great against cavalry. I was very much proven wrong when I was trying to face cataphracts with a Byzantine civilization, and just got absolutely destroyed by their charge, their charge ability, which is apparently a special ability I didn't really know about, and absolutely destroys anything in their path, including massed Janissaries. But nevertheless, Janissaries should be good against horse archers because they're very lightly armoured. Okay, so pretty standard start to the game. Try and get on stone nice and early. Try and not put too many on gold, I'd suggest. Only kind of once you're at feudal age is what I normally do, and then start to put more on gold. 6 minutes in now. They're a little bit late on upgrading to feudal age. Sorry, they're already raiding. See, that's the kind of beauty with the hardened Khan. It allows you to just basically go and annoy people, although it doesn't do much damage. So it's just a bit of a nuisance. Got the Anatolian hills already. Good. Keeping a fair few villagers on sheep early game is always a good idea because it means you can easily garrison, protect your villagers. I threw a spearman over there with a kind of view to just be a bit annoying. Didn't really do very well because it turns out they've got a load of ships that they're already starting. It's interesting on this one where they, because in the previous games I've been saying that my use of fishing boats basically won me the game, and I think, and in this game they use fishing boats, but doesn't seem to help them that much. So I'll have a look. Maybe it gives them a bit of a boost. Currently economy 37, military 2, my fantastic army of 2, and the enemy 32, military 6, so pretty early still, 934, although if you're English you would have expected a 934 them to have a bit of an army, or similar civilization. Ottomans, they have fairly cheap units as well, so it's not unrealistic to presume that they would be producing an army at this point. Got 3 military schools up and running, and you see, I've just missed it, but you've seen the number on the mini-map of ships that they've got, which I think actually maybe they've played somebody that tried to contest the little lake here. I don't really see the point of contesting the lake. I don't want the lake. You can have the lake. I'm aware that might mean that they do better at me on food, but it doesn't seem to be realising that at the moment, does it? My scout's having a bit of trouble because they're putting up these watchtowers everywhere, and I get a bit annoyed with them putting up watchtowers, so I try and block it. Yeah, so they're still trying to put this outpost up, and I say no thank you. Destroy that, and then straight back, because defensive early game, especially against a civilization that can field a decent number of units, early game. I'm doing my standard thing of putting 1 or 2 on far gold mines. So yes, that they can. I'm on the gold, so that's good. But if they come and just take it out, I don't really mind. Yeah, so all good at the moment. Being as defensive as possible, getting a few more villagers. They now, quite early on, use the heavy cavalry, and these heavy cavalry are quite good. They're not cataphract standard, but they're still quite good. I'm there, obviously quite aware of that, but they've waited a little bit late. 14 minutes in, the Ottomans are able to field a reasonable force, not a strong force, but a reasonable force. This time, moving out my villager that's kind of in the way. So obviously they're going to come around. What I perhaps should have done at this point, realising that they're going to kind of scoot round and probably aim for those villagers, I probably could have gone. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? I probably could have gone that way with a large force, with a large percentage of these people, these units, or possibly tried to move other units to intercept. I guess it's a good thing that I stopped them kind of coming this way, because they could easily take out quite a few of those villages. This group is just being a bit of a pain, and it's actually being quite an effective pain. I've got an outpost that's firing ballista, which is good. I think, no, not quite yet. But they're being quite, effective. They take out another villager that I've done the kind of just putting 1 on that stone mine. They're just forcing me to be super defensive and kind of taking my concentration away from everything else. I'm being okay in terms of defensive, defending, and I've taken out a few of the units there, or one of the unit at least. This guy doesn't seem to be particularly interested. Oh, there we are. Ah, he's going to get destroyed. Oh, not quite. Well done. So this is obviously a bit of a problem. Do I move him out of the way in time? Sort of, just about. I'm kind of lining up my mangonel, but I don't. This actually was a bad idea. I thought that was a good idea, turns out not so much. They are coming again. Should have put a tower here, obviously, that was a bit dumb. Obviously should have garrisoned these as well, that was extremely dumb. I think I'm not concentrating on what's going on over there, which is exactly what the enemy wants. So at this point they're doing pretty well. Wow, they take out all my gold miners and me just completely oblivious. That's not a very particularly good endorsement of my ability to play this game, is it? Anyway, so we're starting to see the Janissaries kind of come to the fore, which is nice. These horse archers are pretty good. I try and take them on with these villagers, which actually works reasonably well. Obviously in real life, these are absolutely incredible. I don't know if you played Total War as well. There, you can do. Oh, this is ridiculous. I don't know what I'm doing here. But in Total War, you on the second one, which is one of my favourites, you can get horse archers to just kind of run in circles and just keep skirmishing out of range of the enemy, and they're just sort of like they're doing here, but perhaps even more effective. And I particularly like the running in circles, because it allows, I think it's perhaps a little bit more realistic to what would perhaps have happened. Anyway, so they do really well in terms of raiding. 18 minutes in, I should by this point have a decent force up, but because they've been continually raiding me, I don't. Let's have a look at numbers. 49 military, 44, and for them 55, so doing better on econ, probably because they've been killing my villagers. Military 15. Interesting. Okay, being a bit slow on gold, as you can see. But now I'm hoping that... oh no. I decided to build 1 or 2 archery rangers, it seems. So they have a problem with me having a mining camp there. Fair enough. Didn't want it anyway. And they go for the attack. I've positioned troops around the base now. I'm getting a bit kind of bored of this running around trying to get them idea. So I just position troops everywhere, and then try and pincer move in development. And then you've got kind of attacking on both sides to an extent, which is nice. Although obviously these villagers are vulnerable. But I would suggest that's the first attack that doesn't really, that's the first raid that's not really going their way anymore. And that's because I've got a decent number of Janissaries at this point. So they're losing quite a lot of these. They're quite light, so as soon as they stop, they're in trouble. I'm going a bit crazy getting that gold, 21 on that gold. I obviously need to be very, very protective of the gold mines here, because there's not actually a huge amount on the map, I'd suggest. There's this little one here which doesn't have much left in, and then there's not that much. There's one I think up here. For some reason you can't see it. This happened last game. I'm sure there's a gold mine there. And for some reason during the replay you can't see the gold mine. I don't know why. In any case, gold mines up here are not being used. I'm wondering where they're getting gold from. Let's just look. Let's cheat. Oh, they're not getting gold at all. There's no one. There's no one on gold. Perhaps it's just the trading. Interesting. Ah, they're getting quite... Maybe this was a... Is this a recent addition to the game? This is exposing my lack of knowledge. Anyway, back to the action. This is where Janissaries come into their own. Pretty easy to deal with that. These aren't cataphracts, right? They're not that well armoured. They're all pretty light. Obvious thing to do now, move into the way of their trading routes, and their efforts to get gold via trading become somewhat problematic. So this is, you know, showing the power of the old Janissary again, which I very much like. Even against these, obviously these are stronger, taking longer to go, but still pretty good, I would suggest. Obviously I need to move out of the way of these arrows because there's no point in getting destroyed by arrows. They're quite vulnerable to archers, as you can see. They are quite vulnerable to archers, especially compared to the men-at-arms. I need to move off. A bit slow to move off. Maybe I'm doing something else at the same time. Look at that. In terms of how, you know, it's taken ages to kill that. This is definitely an amazing idea. I will have no suggestion that this was stupid. Got another force coming around the side, killing some villagers, why not? I finally moved off. My thought was that they might be on this gold mine, but they're not. I'll move around again in a minute, I think, just to try and go onto softer targets. Obviously I need to move these people, but apparently I'm a bit slow on doing that. In terms of income per minute, doing now really well compared to them. Also notable, very notable, that I'm in the next age, and I'm upgrading to the next age, and they're still in age 2, which is you know, not great, frankly. And another reason perhaps why this game was a little bit, at this point, a little bit one-sided. I mean, they do end up kind of eventually beating off this attack. I've been beaten by Mongols before. It's not like it's a terrible civilization and it's a terrible matchup. They're not the easiest to beat, I'd suggest. Just trying to think of that other civilization. The one that was particularly easy to beat, give me a second, was with Mongols for some reason, was the Malayans. That civilization, for some reason, I think just because the types of units that they field are not that hard to beat with Mongols, unless, and I guess it's probably also because Beastie, one of these YouTubers, was suggesting that civilization is just really hard to master. So it might just be the case that that once you kind of know what you're doing a little bit more with that civilization, then they are pretty strong. But I haven't yet encountered anyone. I don't think I've been beaten, I think, once by Malians, if that's the right pronunciation. But I've in turn beaten them quite a few times. So income per minute doing really well, and they're struggling like a lot. And you know, actually this wasn't as close a game as I thought it was. I thought at this point they were kind of building back quite nicely. Oh, I missed this again. This is stupid, isn't it? I'm just basically allowing him to destroy all these people. Whatever. Annoying me slightly. So, I'm just basically being a nuisance with these. I'm not really trying to do anything with them other than keep them on their toes. Yeah, it's quite a good idea when you're facing this kind of raiding civilization to have different, I guess, different muster points, I guess, such that I'm a little bit faster. Oh, I'm walking into the enemy there. I was going to say I did this a little bit better, apparently not. Saved a couple, but then decided not to save a couple as well. Again, this was a little bit pointless, I'd suggest. I've got the Seagate Castle there. Perhaps would have been more effective to go right round and then maybe come up here somewhere. Maybe go around this side, I don't know. Yeah, at this point I'm thinking, you know what, I need to... They've seemingly got traders coming up and down here, so I'm going to try and cut off this trade route eventually. Well, they did have anyway. They don't seem to have any income per minute in gold at the moment. I don't know what they did. Maybe they've given up. I just don't notice. Oh, they're trying to get the next age. Only just gone into castle age. I initially thought this player was going to be pretty hard to beat. I think partly because of the early use of outposts quite effectively. Now I've got a load of people not doing anything, so obviously I need to do something about that. The plan is to to come and dominate this area. This way I get myself some gold. Well, I don't necessarily need it as much as they do, but get myself some gold and block their trade route. So that's what we like. Speed it up a bit. I'm a bit early on that. Probably should have just waited. How many is this? 38. Nice little force. And then I've got, for some reason, 2 little forces going along. Not that little. Reasonable sized forces going that way. I wait a minute to before establishing my presence with a keep. And then just take out this outpost because it's annoying me a little bit. Seeing that it's full of traders. Might have been a good idea to put some janissaries up here as well. But I just at this point plonk myself here and say what you're going to do about it. A bit slow to notice that I should get the Great Bombard with this keep. These guys coming up a bit late. Quite a fun game this one, but I don't have too much trouble. In one of the previous games that I strategically haven't shown you, the previous game, I do lose pretty badly. That was to Order the Dragon. But in my defence, it was the really small map. It was the map that you're right next to each other. And my playstyle, I just can't. It's very, very hard to win that map. Incredibly hard to win that map. There we are. So yeah, quite nice. Dominating gold spots. And cutting them off from their traders.